during preseason, we saw Tom Brady in the nice Al Davis white Raiders tracksuit.
Vintage.
He's now a part owner of the Raiders at a discount from his buddy, Mark Davis, who desperately wanted a cool friend and has one. They've danced around this from time to time. Dana White from the UFC put it out there a couple of years ago. The Raiders were pursuing Tom Brady when he was a free agent. John Gruden ultimately said no. Here's Mark Davis in his own words on the attempt to get Tom Brady to play for the Raiders in 2020 when he was a free agent.
I think he was supposed to be here in 2020.
Oh, he was?
Well, that's when our relationship started.
Got it.
Was in 2020 when he was a free agent, and we talked about him coming here to play quarterback, and obviously it was a tough decision for him, and he was close to wanting to come here, but the head coach and general manager decided they wanted to go in a different direction.
Yeah.
So we didn't sign him. But as I got to know him through that process, I let his agent know that when he was done playing, that I would like him to be part of our organization.
And he is, and he got a sweetheart deal. And he's involved. I don't know how involved. He's spread a little too thin. And this whole, I mean, we've talked about
We talked about it last week.
Yeah.
Just pick one lane.
It's funny,
and that's
though.
a more lucrative lane, being a
absolutely.
part owner of
Equity
the
as it's going up and up and up. But to think that Mike Mayock, who was the GM at the time, and John Gruden, who was the head coach at the time, didn't want him. You know, there was an estimation that Father Time was winning. I think the 49ers may have shied away because he's probably a little too old now, and he proved in Tampa Bay. Now, he landed with a great roster, great coaching staff, good situation in the NFC South. It wasn't like, you know, if he'd have gone to the Raiders, he's got to deal with Mahomes twice a year.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee he's going to navigate the AFC playoff tree and get to the Super Bowl if he goes to the Raiders. They didn't have the talent around him that the Buccaneers did. So it worked out well for the Bucs, and I don't think it would have changed things for the Raiders.
I think if people could go back and if they knew then what they know now, which is that, you know, it wasn't just Tom Brady, it was Bill Belichick really starting to lose it as a team builder. There wasn't much around. In 2019 for the Patriots, there wasn't much around.
They lost that home playoff game to the Titans.
To the Titans. And he didn't have much, and he was disappointed. He was angry the entire season. He was angry because he didn't get the contract extension that he wanted, but he was also looking at the personnel, the Patriots personnel, and they weren't listening to him, and they just didn't have all the pieces that he felt like he needed. So if the Niners and the Raiders and other teams could go back and look at it and say, well, wait a minute, that wasn't necessarily Brady. We gave Belichick more credit than we should have. We still thought that he was a significant team builder, and he wasn't. Right? Belichick, at that was probably the moment where he really just lost control of just evaluation. Or if the evaluation was still there in the organization, it was a moment when he really said, I'm not going to listen to anybody. I'm going to do what I want to do.
Well, and he was such a great and is such a great game day coach and game planner, one of the best ever. It compensated for his failures when it comes to team building, when it comes to drafting and developing, especially receivers. Look at how they failed.
Terrible.
To draft and develop
high-end
receivers.
I think that first year, that may have been N'Keal Harry.
Yeah.
So N'Keal Harry, who's I think he's out of football now. He tried to become a tight end.
He was bouncing around. Yeah, he was with the Bears. Like he was here, there, and everywhere. But that was the guy they took when there were some guys on the board who ended up being pretty damn good.
And that was just what they did over and over. You know, you look at, you know, Arizona State had good receivers, but they took the guy who wasn't any good. And then Georgia had Nick Chubb at running back. They took Sony Michel. I mean, there were just so many examples of Bill just going in and not quite getting the guy who would translate to the league. And I think Brady got tired of that, along with his contractual issues. And he winds up with the Raiders. And when you hear that, is it my Boston ear, or is it just obvious that when Mark Davis says, in 2020, when your career is over, I want you here, wouldn't you think that the Patriots would say that to Tom Brady? Yeah. And I wonder why they didn't.
Well, I don't know, but I guarantee you this, Robert Kraft was never going to sell a chunk of that team to anyone, nor should he.
I said you're like a son to me.
Yeah.
I didn't say you're actually my son.
You're not part of the will.
That's right.
But really, I think it's ludicrous that Mark Davis sold
yeah.
a chunk of the equity at such a discount. And I can't believe the NFL allowed him to do it. I remember the late Jim Irsay explaining why they hadn't approved the deal yet, because he's not paying enough. And at the end of the day, he didn't pay that much more.
It's a hell of a deal.
No,
for
it was
Brady.
a hell of a deal. No, and I think any owner in his right mind, I'm not saying that Mark Davis is in his wrong mind. I guess I'm implying it. Any owner in his right mind would never give that away to Tom Brady or anyone. But hey, that's the power of having a cool friend, and now he has one. By the way, instead of N'Keal Harry, they could have had, and just to name a few, A.J. Brown, DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin, and Deebo Samuel.
Oh, that's all.
They were all still on the board. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.